So come to mountain pose, feet hip width apart, spread out your toes, ground through the big toe mounds, little toe mounds, and heels. And then bring your hands to your heart, press down through the feet, reach up through the crown of the head. We're going to start this morning with a mudra. This is Garuda mudra. So we're actually going to hook our thumbs with the right hand on top and bring your hands over your chest. So Garuda means eagle, and Garuda is thought to be this mighty bird of prey that Vishnu rides on. And so close your eyes here and just imagine yourself as this large bird of prey, soaring elegantly across the sky. And the landscape below resembles your life with its peaks and valleys. And from this perspective, you can clearly see your obstacles and how to get around them. And you're able to differentiate between what's important and what isn't. You are at peace with the world around you, and you seek for nothing more than you need. Now with your next inhale, gently open the eyes, reach the arms out wide, take your gaze up towards the sky, and just hold here for a moment, spreading those wings wide, relaxing the shoulders down away from the ears, feeling this expansiveness through the front body. And then on your next breath in, we're going to reach the arms up overhead and then interlace the fingers, turn your palms up towards the sky. Again, ground into the feet, reach long and tall. As you exhale, we're going to take the left foot, step it behind the right and off to the right, and then reach your arms over to the right. This nice lateral stretch. So keeping that top shoulder drawing back, feeling that stretch through the left side body. And then inhale, come back to center. Exhale to the other side. So right leg steps behind and off to the left. Reaching the arms out, feeling that stretch through that right side body. And then inhale, come back to center. Exhale, release the hands, take the arms wide, start to hinge at your hips, folding forward nice and slow, bending the knees. And then with your right hand on the floor or a block beneath you, bend your right knee, inhale the left arm towards the sky, finding that twist. Exhale to center. Inhale, right arm reaches high. Exhale to center. And then inhale for half lift and pause here. So bringing your torso parallel to the earth. Engaging your inner thighs and drawing them slightly behind you, lengthening from the tailbone to the crown of the head, shoulder blades wrapping onto the back. Notice where your weight is in your feet. If you're leaning all into your heels or all into your toes, just find that center. Distributing the weight evenly to the front and back of the feet. We'll hold here for one more breath in. And then exhale, hinge at the hips, fold forward. And then bend your knees, plant your hands on the mat. We're going to step back to down dog. Keep the knees bent, find a little wiggle here for the first few breaths. And then from here, we're going to drop to our knees. So come into your hands and knees. And we'll move through a few cat-cows here. So on your inhale, we're going to lift the gaze. Shoulders draw back towards the hips. And then exhale, tuck the tailbone, draw the navel in, tuck the chin, arch the back body towards the sky. And then continue at your own pace. Feel free to explore different versions of this if you'd like. Sometimes a barrel roll feels good, or something that brings the hips and shoulders a little more into it. Just listening to your body here, getting into any places of tension, trying to find release. And then inhale back to center. So back to table. Now with your next inhale, lift and extend that left leg back behind you. And then reach your right arm forward. Coming into the sunbird pose. Draw navel to spine, lengthen out from your core through the lifted limbs. Take a deep breath in. And then exhale, bring knee to elbow underneath your body, rounding the spine. Inhale, extend. Exhale, curl it in. Inhale, extend. Exhale, curl in. Hold here as you inhale, just squeezing that knee in closer to your body. And then inhale, reach out. This time on your exhale, we're going to take the leg and the arm out to the side. So working the core a little bit more here, as well as our balance. Good. Inhale, come back to that sunbird, and then bring your hand, your right hand back to the mat. The left leg, left knee is going to tuck behind the right. And then you're going to take your feet apart and start to walk your hands in and coming to a seat. So sometimes that's a little tricky to get into. So if you need to get there a different way, feel free. Okay, once you're there, trying to ground both sits bones, finding equal length on both side bodies. And if that's not happening or you feel awkward, feel free to extend the lower leg. Okay. All right. So from here, we're going to inhale, sweep the arms up towards the sky. As you exhale, bend the left elbow, bring right hand to left elbow, find that stretch in the bicep. Keep that head floating above the spine. So try not to jut the head forward. And then release the right hand, take it behind the back, and we're seeing how close you can get to your left fingers without causing yourself pain. Okay. So you want to still be able to relax the jaw and soften through the face. Squeeze that left bicep in towards the ear. If you feel pretty comfortable here and you want more of a hip stretch, you could try hinging forward. And then if you're hinged, come back up. And then slowly release the arms. We're going to just rotate the arms, bringing left arm under right for eagle arms now. Okay. So if you can, bring the palms to touch, or it can be the back of the hands, or even hands to shoulders. And then again, maybe folding forward if that's accessible or beneficial to you. And then inhale back upright. If you fold it forward, reach the fingertips towards the sky. Just bring a little different stretch into the shoulders. And then on your next breath in, release the wrap, stretch the arms out wide, spreading those wings. And then we'll come forward to table again. Finding yourself back in table. This time we're going to take the right leg back, extending that leg back behind you. So lifting through that inner thigh, drawing navel to spine, and then reach your left arm forward. So left bicep alongside the left ear. We're engaging through the core and lengthening out through the lifted limbs. Take a deep breath in here. And then exhale, curl in. Inhale, extend. Exhale, curl it in. Inhale, extend. Exhale, curl in. Hold here as you inhale. Hold as you exhale. Squeeze that knee in. And then inhale, stretch out. Exhale, take the arm and leg out to the side. Good. Inhale, forward and back. Exhale, take that left hand back to the mat. And then we're going to tuck right knee behind the left. Take the feet apart. Walk the hands in towards your body and find your seat. So again, might need to get there a different way. Okay, but once you're there, ground the sits bones, lengthen through the side bodies, extend the lower leg if you feel you need to. Okay. And then inhale, sweep the arms up towards the sky. Bend the right elbow, left hand on that elbow just to deepen that stretch through the tricep a bit. Notice where your head is. And then release the left arm, wrap it around behind the low back. Work those left fingers towards the right, right fingers towards the left without too much force. And then again, just come to that tall spine, head and neck floating right above the spine. Hugging that right bicep in towards the ear. Trying to release any places that feel tight. And if you want to, you can hinge forward here. But again, keep your awareness with the head. So if you start to hinge forward and it's really your head that's just moving forward, draw that head back. And if you're hinged over, come back upright. On your next breath in, slowly release the arms. And then we're going to wrap left arm under right for eagle arms. And then again, maybe folding forward if that feels right. Maybe the elbows come to or towards the knees. Or if you're really flexible, you might be able to get the elbows to the floor in front of the knees. That's a little deeper stretch in the hips. And then inhale, sit upright, reach the fingertips towards the sky, lifting those elbows. And then on your next breath in, release, reach the arms out wide. And then exhale, hands to the mat, shift forward, coming back into your table position. And then let's lower down onto the elbows here. And then step the feet back, coming into a forearm plank. So think of dropping the hips, but lifting through the inner thighs. Shoulders stack right over the elbows. Navel drawing towards spine. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, just drop your hips over to the left. And then inhale through center. And exhale, hips to the right. It's kind of like you're rolling over this big beach ball. You're just going to shift side to side. A little twist. And then back to center. From here, walking your feet in towards your elbows, coming into our dolphin pose. So as the feet walk towards your head, press your chest back towards your thighs. Good, and then from here, you can walk the feet back again, and we'll come into child's pose. So hips to heels, bring your hands back by your feet, rest your forehead on the floor, let the shoulders just kind of drop down towards the earth. Close your eyes. Breathe into that back body, or breathe into the shoulders if the shoulders are feeling a little stressed. And then walk your hands forward. We'll start to make our way into downward dog from here. So tucking the toes under, lifting the hips, pressing into the hands, fingers spread really wide, grounding into the thumb and forefinger. And then hips reach up and back. We find length in the spine. Relax the head and neck from the inner thighs towards the wall behind you. And then on your next breath in, lift your left leg towards the sky. As you exhale, bring knee to nose. Shift forward, step shoulders over wrists. Pause here for a moment. And then on your next exhale, bring that foot forward between the hands. And then let's drop that back knee. Inhale, sweep the arms up towards the sky. So keep the hips lunging forward, heart lifting, big stretch in the front body and front of that right thigh. Now exhale, bring hands to heart center. You can kind of shift the hips back a little bit. And we're gonna take a twist. So right elbow to left knee. And then press the palms together, open your heart towards your thumbs. If you want to, you can lift that back knee, making it a little bit more of a balanced pose. And then take a deep, expansive breath in. Try to create that space in the torso, even in this twist. As you exhale, navel draws in, heart turns a little more towards the sky. If that back knee is lifted, make sure that you're pressing back through that back heel, keeping that leg engaged. If you want to, you can open the arms here. And then we'll bring hands back to heart center. Release the hands to the mat. If that back knee is down, go ahead and lift the back knee. Step back to three-legged dog. Sweeping the left leg towards the sky, bending the left knee, flexing the left foot, pressing the left foot back towards the right. And then inhale, straighten the leg, level out the hips. Exhale, shift forward to plank, either with that leg lifted or you can bring the foot back to the floor. And then we'll drop both knees to the mat, lower down, knees, chest, chin. Inhale, draw your heart forward for cobra. Exhale, make your way back to down dog. Take a couple of breaths here. Really working to lengthen the spine. You can always wiggle around a little bit if you feel the need. And then on your next inhale, we'll lift the right leg high. Exhale, shift forward, shoulders over wrists, knee to nose, pause for a moment, and then bring the foot forward between the hands, finding your lunge. And then we'll drop that back knee. Inhale, sweep the arms towards the sky, hips move forward, big opening through that front body. And then exhale, navel draws in as you bring hands to heart center. And then we'll take left elbow to right knee for a prayer twist. Press into the palms, open your heart towards the thumbs. Option to lift the back knee if you'd like. And then come to the breath. Creating that space with the inhale. Finding a deeper twist with the exhale. Staying active in that back leg if it's lifted. Maybe opening the arms. And then on your next inhale, we'll bring hands back to heart center. Hands to the mat. Lift the back knee if it's not already. And then step back to three-legged dog. Right leg sweeps towards the sky. Bend the knee, flex the foot, open the hip, press that right foot back into the left. And then inhale, straighten the right leg, level out the hips. Exhale, shift forward to plank. And then bring that foot down, drop the knees, lower down knees, chest, chin. Inhale to cobra or maybe an up dog. Exhale, back to downward facing dog. And again, take a couple breaths here. Settle the breath. On your next inhale, gaze forward. And on your exhale, step, walk, or float forward, coming into a standing forward fold. And let's heel toe the feet together to touch, so the big toe mounds touch. And then bend the knees deeply. Inhale your arms up in front. Squeeze the knees together, sit a little lower. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, we're going to sweep left arm back, right arm forward, open your chest to the left. To keep the hips squared forward. And inhale, sweep both arms up. Exhale, take right arm back, left arm forward to twist. Sit a little lower, drop shoulders down away from the ears. Inhale, sweep the right arm forward, both arms sweep up. Exhale, take both arms down and back, folding over the bent knees. Drop your booty a little lower, see if you can get your thighs almost parallel to the floor. And then inhale, sweep the arms forward, press into the feet. Keep your gaze down as you slowly rise all the way up to stand. And then reach up and back for a back bend. And then exhale, hands to Garuda Mudra. So right hand over left, thumbs hooked. Take a moment here. Feet hip width apart. Silently repeat the words to yourself. I'm at peace with the world around me. With your next inhale, open your wings wide. As you exhale, we're going to bring left arm under right for eagle arms. Take a moment here, press the hands forward, just finding a stretch in the shoulders. Bring the hands back in. We'll take both hands to the right and both hands to the left. Noticing one has much more range of motion than the other. And then back to center. Now on your exhale, we're going to sit back in our chair. So deep bend in the knees. We're going to bring our weight into our right foot, lift the left leg, and wrap it around for eagle. So maybe the toes tuck behind the ankle, or maybe you use those toes as a kickstand. Either way, just squeeze everything in like you're wringing out a towel. Find a focal point somewhere in front of you to anchor your gaze, and then come back to the breath. Nice, steady, full breaths in and out. With your next inhale, keep the arms interlaced. We're just going to unravel the legs and shoot that left leg back behind you as you hinge here. So coming into our first big balance pose, this version of warrior 3. So ground into the standing foot, lift the inner left thigh towards the sky. Keep breathing. On your next exhale, we're gonna gently bend the standing leg. Place that left foot on the mat back behind you for warrior one feet. Bend that front knee. Inhale, reach the arms, still interlaced, towards the sky, and then back behind you. So finding this back bend here. On your next inhale, we're gonna spread our wings wide as we open to warrior two. So take a moment to find your placement. Nice wide stance through the legs. Deep bend in that front knee. We're grounding through the outer edge of that back foot. Arms are lifted. Shoulders stack over hips. Find a little bit of softness in the arms. Tuck that tailbone under, draw navel to spine. Now turn your palms up towards the sky. We're gonna wrap that left arm behind the low back. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, we're gonna straighten the front leg, bend the back leg, lift the right toes, and sweep right hand to left knee for Skandasana. And then inhale, bend the front knee, sweep your arm forward, reach up and back for reverse warrior. And then exhale, windmill your hands down to your mat, lift the back heel, going into your lunge. From here, step back to three-legged dog, sweeping the right leg high. And then option to bring that right foot down or keep it lifted as you move forward to plank. And then as you exhale, we'll lower down, either knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. Maybe you still have that right leg lifted. We find ourselves in cobra or up dog, and then we'll meet in down dog. Take a few breaths here. If child's pose sounds more appealing, if that sequence was tiring, feel free to come to child's pose. Just allow the breath to settle here, the body to rest for a moment. With your next inhale, let's lift that right leg towards the sky. Exhale. Shift forward, stack shoulders over wrists. And then bring the foot forward between the hands for a lunge. And then we're just going to step the right foot forward as well. Coming into this standing forward fold. Let's heel toe the feet together, big toe mounds touch. Bend the knees deeply. Inhale the arms up in front. So just like we did before, we're going to move through this twist flow. Okay? So deep breath in. As you exhale, we're going to start with the right arm. Right arm sweeps down and back, left arm forward, opening your chest to the right, sitting a little lower in the hips. Inhale, sweep right arm forward, both arms sweep up. Exhale, take left arm down and back, right arm reaches forward, open through the chest, sit low in the hips, and then inhale, sweep that left arm forward. Exhale, take both arms down and back, fold over the bent knee, sit nice and low. Your gaze is out on the floor somewhere in front of you. And then inhale, sweep the arms forward, press into the feet, rise all the way up. And then reach up and back, finding this back bend. And then exhale, hands to Garuda Mudra. So again, right arm on top of left, thumbs lock. Take a moment here, close your eyes. Silently repeat the words, I am at peace with the world around me. Or I have everything I need. Just feeling that contentment, like the bird of prey soaring through the sky. With your next inhale, open the arms wide, lift through the heart. Exhale, I believe we're right arm under left this time. And then just take a moment, press the hands forward. And then bring the hands back in. We'll shift hands to the right. A little bit tricky. And then hands to the left. You've got a little more range of motion there. And then back to center. Now we're going to sit back in that chair, deep bend in the knees. We're going to bring weight to the left foot, lift your right leg, wrap it around. Maybe those toes tuck behind the ankle, or maybe you use toes on the floor as a kickstand. Squeeze everything in tight, sit a little lower, draw navel to spine, find your drishti, reconnect with the breath. Now keep the arms wrapped. Slowly start to release that right leg and begin to kick it back behind you as you hinge through the hips, coming into this version of warrior 3. So staying rooted through that standing foot, lifting inner right thigh towards the sky, crown of the head forward. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, bend the standing leg, gently place that right foot back on the mat through your warrior 1 legs. Inhale, reach the arms up and back through still and eagle arms. We're finding that back bend. And then inhale, open your wings and find warrior 2. So take a moment, again, find your stance. Feel really solid and grounded through the lower body, and then invite a little lightness to the upper body. Gazing out over your front fingertips, drawing navel in, tailbone down. Make sure this front knee is not sickling inward. You want to ground through the outer edges of both feet. Slight lift in the arches. And then turn your palms up. Feel that opening through the shoulders. We're going to wrap right arm behind the low back. Exhale, straighten the front leg, bend the back leg, lift those left toes as you sweep left hand to right knee for Skandasana. And then inhale, sweep it forward, bending that left knee, reaching left arm up and back for reverse warrior. And then exhale, windmill your hands down to your lunge. Step back to 3-legged dog. And then option to bring that left foot back to the mat or keep it lifted as you move forward to plank. And then lower down any way you choose. Inhale to cobra or up dog. Exhale, down dog. And then let's all take a child's pose here. Knees wide, hips to heels, walk your hands forward, rest your forehead on the mat. And just take a few nice deep breaths here. With your next inhale, let's come back to down dog. Pressing that tailbone up and back. And then inhale, lift the right leg high. On your exhale, we're going to come to that pigeon pose. So right knee comes to the mat behind the right wrist. Right foot moves towards the left hand, but don't get too attached to that. If the foot slides in underneath you, that's fine. Okay, get the hips as close to the floor as possible. So walking that left foot back, and then trying to bring hips equal distance from the floor on either side. So if you're leaning into that right hip, place a block or blanket underneath it. Okay, come to your spider fingers in line with that front bent knee. We're going to flow a couple of times before we settle into this. Okay, so as you inhale, press down through the legs, draw the belly button in and up, find length through the front body, gaze upward, and then exhale, slowly lean forward, let the heart lead the way. And just before your head comes to the mat, tuck your chin, inhale, press into the feet, lift and lengthen through the front body again. Exhale, bow forward. Inhale, reach up, lengthen, and then exhale, coming all the way down, resting in your sleeping pigeon. So bringing your forehead to rest on your hands or maybe a block. Shift your right hip back, left hip forward, and then just settle in. Get heavy through the hips. Use your breath to bring some compassion and softness to those places that are feeling a little resistant in this pose. Sometimes a little wiggle in the hips feels nice if you want to try exploring that. And then with your next inhale, bring your hands back to the mat, underneath the shoulders. Tuck the back toes under. On an inhale, we're going to hug that right heel in towards the body as you lift the hips, and then come back to this three-legged dog. And then either with the legs straight or knee bent, we're going to make big circles with that right leg at the hip. And then reverse the direction. And then release the foot back down, coming back into downward facing dog. And on your next breath in, lift the left leg high. Exhale, left knee to the mat behind the left wrist for pigeon on the other side. So again, the left foot moves towards the right hand, but we don't have to get too attached to that. Walk the right foot back, get the hips nice and close to the floor. Find that center, maybe placing some under the left hip if you feel you need to. And then bring your spider fingers alongside that front knee. We'll flow a couple times before settling. So on your inhale, press into the legs, draw navel in, lift through the front body. So you find a little bit of a back bend here. And then exhale, bow forward. Inhale, tuck the chin, curl in and up, active through the legs. Exhale, bow forward. Inhale, curl up, lengthen, open the heart, and then come forward all the way down, resting in your sleeping pigeon. Take a moment here, draw right hip forward, left hip back, and settle in. Close your eyes. Breathe into the places that are tight, allowing those places to relax, to open up. And with your next inhale, bring the hands back to the mat, shoulder width apart. Tuck those back toes under. And on your next inhale, we're gonna hug that left heel in towards the body as you lift the hips, pressing that left leg up and back. And then with the legs straight or knee bent, we're gonna do some big circles at the hip. And then reverse the direction. And then release back to down dog. And here we'll come onto our knees. And I'd like to do a frog pose here to stretch the inner thighs and hips. We've done a lot of outer hip stretches. So if you're on a hard floor, I should have mentioned this at the beginning of class, I apologize, but if you're on a hard floor, find a blanket or a towel, right, and place it on one side of your mat. If you're on carpet, you shouldn't worry about it. This is just to pad the knees. And then we'll come to our hands and knees. Okay. And then you're going to place one knee on the blanket, the other knee on your mat, and then you're going to just, if you're on a hard floor, it's nice to let it just slide away. If you're on carpet, you kind of have to wiggle a little bit, but at least your knees will be soft and padded. And then we'll come down onto our elbows. So your toes are turned out like a frog, okay? You're on your elbows, knees are nice and wide. And then just take a few moments to kind of rock gently forward and back. Just really getting into those inner thighs and the hips. And then find the juiciest spot and stay there for a couple of breaths. Finding some stillness and breathing into that stretch. Okay, so sometimes coming out of this is the trickiest part. So come to your hands, squeeze the inner thighs together. And if you're on that hard floor, the blanket just kind of slides in. Otherwise, you have to kind of wiggle a little bit. And then let's bring the knees together to touch. We'll come into embryo pose, which is basically child's pose. But the knees are together, hands are back by the heels. Tuck your chin. Just kind of curling into this little ball here. And then walk your hands forward, shoulder width apart. We're going to shift forward onto our elbows, coming back to that forearm plank that we did at the beginning of class. So shoulders stack over the elbows, lower arms are on the floor, palms face down. Your feet are hip width apart. Draw navel to spine, squeeze outer hips in. Find a lot of strength here in this forearm plank. You can always drop one knee if you need to. You can stay here, or if you want to come to that dolphin pose, start to lift the hips, walk the feet towards the arms as your chest pressed back towards your thighs. If you want to play around here a little bit, you can try lifting one leg and then the other. And then walking back to forearm plank. And then drop your knees and lower the hips, coming into Sphinx pose. So hips down, heart reaches forward, shoulders back. Your gaze is down at the floor between your thumbs. We're just working to lengthen the front of the body and finding a little back bend here. If you want a more intense of a back bend, take your hands wider, lift your elbows. Just avoid any pain in that low back. Draw navel to spine, open the heart. Take a couple of breaths here wherever you are. And then if elbows are lifted, bring your elbows back down, joining us in Sphinx again. From here, we'll transition to a supine twist. So we're gonna lift the left elbow, bring your right hand palm face up underneath that left arm, and then slide the right hand away from you as you roll onto your right side and draw left knee to right elbow. Now sweep the left arm across the sky, let it float back behind you. Try to keep that left knee grounded unless that's too intense on the shoulder. Just take a couple of breaths here. Try to expand the torso with each breath in and surrendering a little bit more with each breath out. Take another deep breath in. And then on your next exhale, sweep that left hand down towards your feet. Reach it beyond the right hand. And then drag the left fingertips along the floor, up overhead and back behind you again. We'll do 2 more big giant circles like that. Making these big circles with that left arm. Just helps to find a little more opening through the torso. Good. And then 1 more half circle to bring you back to Sphinx. Coming back onto your belly, back to the elbows. We can transition to the other side now. So now we're going to lift right elbow, bring left hand, palm face up underneath that right arm. Slide the left arm away, roll onto your left side, draw right knee to left elbow. Sweep the right arm across the sky and let it float back behind you. So again, suggestion to keep that right knee on the floor. And just allow the chest to open. Take a big, expansive breath in. Exhale, surrendering, just letting go of the effort. And then inhale. As you exhale, sweep the right hand down towards the feet and then reach it beyond the left hand so the chest closes up a bit. Drag the right fingertips along the floor up overhead and let the arm open up behind you again. And do 2 more big circles with that right arm. And then this time, as you complete that 3rd circle, we're gonna roll all the way onto our backs. I realize you may be facing away from the screen at this point, but just follow my voice. Hug the knees in towards your chest. Give them a tight squeeze. And rock side to side. And then keep the knees in close to your chest. Extend the arms out from your shoulders in a T, palms face up. As you exhale, we're going to lower the knees over to the left. And just before they reach the floor, pause for a moment, suspending the movement and the breath for 1 count. And then inhale back to center. Exhale, lower the knees to the right, and then pause, suspend the movement and the breath. Inhale back to center. Exhale to the left again. Option here, as you pause, maybe you straighten the legs, reaching those feet out over to the left. And then inhale back to center. Exhale to the right, pausing, maybe extending the legs straight. That's an extra challenge. And then drawing the knees in on your inhale back to center. And we'll take it to the left again. Again, option to extend those legs. And then inhale, bend the knees, come back to center. Take it to the right. Pause, maybe straighten the legs. And then inhale back to center. Now hug the knees in, give yourself a tight squeeze here. And then exhale, lift your head up, curling into a tight little ball. And inhale, release and stretch out for Shavasana. Taking the feet wide apart, arms out wide, palms face up. Eyes closed. Just giving yourself permission here to completely let go. See if you can float somewhere between consciousness and unconsciousness. In that space just before you fall asleep. When time seems to stand still and nothing exists except for you and your breath. If you ever have discomfort here in your low back, you can always bend your knees and maybe let the knees rest against each other. And if the mind wanders, just come back to the breath. And then take a deep breath in through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Start to wiggle fingers and toes, making circles with the ankles and wrists. And then reach your arms out overhead, finding one more long stretch, walking out the hips. And then keep the arms stretched overhead, but bend your knees, bringing your feet to the mat width apart. And just do some gentle windshield wipers with the knees here. And then we'll roll to one side in a fetal position, taking a few moments here on your side. And then keep your eyes closed as you slowly make your way back to seated. Or open them to unmute yourself and join me in an Om if you'd like. We'll find a comfortable seat. Hands together at heart center, crown of the head reaching towards the sky. We'll take a full breath in together. All that is good and light in me honors all that is good and light in each one of you. It's in this way that we are all one. Namaste.